Thank you for joining us. The City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City will meet in a regular meeting in City Hall Council Chambers located at 1716 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. I now call this meeting to order. If everyone would please rise, if you're able to, for the invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this night, all our citizens, these board members, and all of our city employees and first responders. Please give us wisdom, patience, and clarity as we go about our city's business. We always pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I still miss that.
I have to say that flag looked pretty good the other morning flying around the rink for the U.S. hockey team. I shouldn't say that, but I did. I will now have a roll call. For my left, please.
Burns here.
Evans here.
Jacobs here.
We have a quorum. Citizens communication. Pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551007, members of the public may speak on any topic. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, and no action may be taken by the council. Any response from a member of the City Council to non-agenda comments is limited to a statement of specific factual information, a recitation of existing policy, or direction to staff for follow-up. We have one citizen's comments. I'd like to call Tony Lee Palafox to the podium. Tony, did I say that right? Yes, sir. Okay. I have a weird last name. I hate it when people mispronounce my name. Yes, sir.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Tony Lee Palafox, and I am here to deliver a public safety message in honor of my young friend Clark Prather, who was hit and killed on his motorcycle by a driver turning left into him just a week before graduation, last May the 15th. This petition here, his mom has articulated my ideas onto change.org. I am asking, just to sum it up, I am asking for motorcycle safety awareness to be downloaded to all GPS and in-car navigation safety settings. These features would be optional, but if you were to use them and have them turned on, the GPS would gently remind you to not only look twice for motorcycles, but bicyclists and pedestrians as well. There's also a request on here for possible dash light indicators in his honor. So this is our graduation gift to this young man. So thank y'all so much for your time and attention tonight. I have some flyers over here that I'll be leaving, and I think there's about 21 of them, so y'all are welcome to take them, take a picture of them. This is a global petition. It can be shared globally around the world. So his petition actually holds signatures from the UK, Mexico, Canada, and at least 18 states in the USA already. So thank you so much. I'm on every social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, sharing it, obviously. So actually, TomTom and Google Maps are already in support. This is a Samsung Galaxy, not sure of the model, but in the settings, we now have a motorcycle avatar. It's not ready to use yet. You can't utilize it, but once it's done, it'll be named after him, CSF, Clark Safety Feature, Motorcycle Safety Awareness, MSA. And once again, if you were to use it, when you enter a route, the GPS would gently remind the driver, and it would blink or something when you come to major intersections and when you're turning, just to remind. So thank y'all so much. God bless you guys, and stay safe, okay? Thank y'all very much.
Tony, thanks for that, man. I mean, that's an incredible thing you're doing, and that's an incredible way to honor your friend. And I love it when people like yourself take a leadership role and take matters into their own hands like that. That's an incredible thing you're doing. I wish you and give you all the blessings in the world that you get this done. You betcha. I'm sure he was. Well, he had a heck of a friend in you, I'll promise you that. You bet. Consent agenda. 6A, all matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Consider approving the following reports. January 8th, 2026 special meeting minutes, January 20th, 2026 special meeting minutes, January 27th, 2026 regular meeting minutes, and the EDC December financials. Do I have a motion?
Move that we accept the consent agenda as is.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Motion passes. 7A, quarterly department reports. Presentation of quarterly department reports, including, this will be our first one, will be by courts, by Judge Wallace. Judge Wallace, if you come to the podium.
All right, good evening. Thank y'all for having me here tonight. I will be presenting you the municipal court's highlights from the past quarter. In January, the council reappointed Judge Brad Stevens to serve another 2-year term as presiding judge. Judge Stevens has served as the municipal court judge since 2021. He's a graduate of the Texas A&M School of Law class of 2006 and holds a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice from the University of North Texas, earned in 2002. Judge Stevens is also a proud local. He graduated from Maybank High School in 1996 and has continued to serve this community in a variety of ways throughout his career. Court staff is grateful for his leadership and for the dedication he brings to the municipal court. Moving on to court security. Under Article 102.017, the Code of Criminal Procedure, a portion of court cost is allocated to a dedicated fund that can only be used for security personnel services and improvements to facilities that support municipal court operations. This year, the municipal court utilized a portion of that restricted fund to relocate and repair the security fence. Originally installed in 2020 as a safety measure, the fence has been effective in preventing unauthorized individuals from approaching court staff as they walk to and from their vehicles. Currently, the municipal court is working on a warrant resolution program. There have been 456 warrants issued, 577 cleared in the months of November, December, and January. However, there are still over 2,000 active warrants right now. As part of the warrant cleanup initiative, our collections agency has sent out notices to defendants with outstanding violations. Court staff began calling people to give them a chance to appear before the police department actively begins arrest. We have already seen a significant impact with individuals paying their warrants or appearing to set up arrangements to handle their outstanding violations. An update on how well the program worked will be given at our next quarterly presentation. And that is all. Any questions?
Thank you, Judge Wallace. Questions for Judge? If none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the most famous building and code enforcement officer and a heck of a father, Shannon Wiggins.
Thank you. All right, for building code enforcement highlights for November, December, and January. We started off in our slower months wanting to clean up MyGov. Angie's ideal kind of pushed us to that, but it worked out well. Anyway, so we're cleaning up, talking about closing expired and open permits from a few months back, some of them even as far as a year, early in the year. As you can see by the chart, in 2024, for the months of November, December, and January, we issued 190 permits. In 25-26, we issued 160. In 24-25, I had 598 inspections compared to 1,097 for the 3 months in 25-26. Moving on to code enforcement. In 24-25, Mike Ward had 39 cases compared to 80 in 25 and 26, and 104 inspections in 24-25 compared to 246 in 25-26. And here, as you can see on January 6th on Heritage Parkway, Mike and the street departments worked together to clean up a homeless camp. It's about the third one Mike has been involved in since he's been here. Takes quite a bit of money and a lot of time, but it looks way better than that now. There's nothing there. Also, we issued some new COs for T&N Nails and Spa between the sheets, which is the bookstore. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, the community center. And then these last pictures are of my staff doing what they do. Any questions?
Questions, Mr. Wiggins? Thanks, Shannon. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Next up, Police Department and Animal Control. Chief Stevens, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Dispatch. In our dispatch center, we had 2,979 calls for service. 340 of those were dispatched for Paint Springs Police Department. 1,277 of those were 911 calls. 534 were walk-ins into our lobby. There were 2,697 police calls total between us and Paint Springs. 234 of those were fire and medical, 227 warrants entered, and 175 warrants cleared. We have 5 dispatch positions. Currently, we have 2 telecommunicators working and 2 in training. March 11th, we'll be hiring our 5th telecommunicator who will be in training. She's experienced coming from another agency, so her training will be about 4 weeks, and then she'll be turned loose. She already certified and up to par with what's going on with our center, too. Patrol, we had 158 citations, 242 warnings, 105 total crashes, 6 DWIs, 12 assaults, 44 property crimes, 84 arrests, 27 vehicles impounded. We have 15 full-time sworn in police officer positions currently. We have 8 officers, 3 are in training right now. Officer Ruiz, Detective Martinez, and Officer Martinez are the training officers for those. Corporal Brunson answers lobby calls and helps. She's the training officer also for the communications. She's the only one that we have that's qualified to actually train in the communication center. So she's at this time in there. We've got an officer that's also cross-trained with dispatch and patrol. So while we're short in there, she's covering some shifts in there. CID, we had 20 cases filed with the district attorney's office, 41 cases filed with the county attorney's office, 9 missing persons, 3 death investigations, 84 arrests, 171 items of evidence collected, and 182 reports taken. We've applied for a rifle-resistant body armor grant and a critical body-worn camera grant. Our field training program reviews and everything that Texas accreditation requires us to do, we're already in the process of doing. So all of those programs have been completed. On animal control, we got 131 calls for animal control service, 4 animal bites, 3 deceased animal retrievals, 57 citations issued, 12 warnings, and 9 pets microchipped. Are you pushing that button or am I? Okay, thank you. The flock system, the LPR cameras, was a part of 5 stolen vehicle alerts, 6 stolen license plate alerts, 34 warrant alerts, 139 sex offender alerts, and 156 protection order alerts. One vehicle stolen from here was recovered by Plano PD using the flock system. And 6 cases were linked to arrest due to flock hits. Any questions?
I have just one thing. I know a lot of the people have heard about the accreditation. I know that was something that was a big goal of yours, Chief. If you could give us a quick rundown of exactly what that is.
With us, it's like 178 different areas of our department, from policy to our jail to our communications center, every aspect of it. It's best practices through the Texas Police Chiefs Association. We actually get audited. So once we get to the point that we feel that we're ready for accreditation, they'll send usually about 3 chiefs from Dallas, Plano, Frisco, somebody to come in, retired chiefs that actually come in and go through every one of those to make sure that we're doing exactly what we're supposed to do. It's got to do with the way we handle money when we take money for reports. I'm talking every aspect of our department. And what that does is gives City Council and our citizens knowing that we are at best practices and we're actually being audited and held accountable for that. Once we get accredited, that accreditation audit is every 4 years. Then we have to maintain reports, use of force reports, officer-involved injuries, officer-involved crashes. We have to keep reports on those. We have to analyze those every year to see what we can do different to keep those from happening. It's a lot of work.
Well, Chief, I appreciate it very much, but I wanted everyone to understand exactly all the work that you guys have put in, and your leadership's been great. But I know that's a really a big item on your list, and I appreciate you guys working so hard to get that done for us.
Thank you.
We'll be the only city in the community around the lake that has accreditation at that point.
We're pushing to be the first one in Henderson County.
Awesome.
No questions for Chief? Great job. Thank you, bud. Next up, Economic Development. Charles Haug, our Director.
Mayor and Council, also a tricky name to say, but I don't care if you say it right or wrong. So, but you got it right that time. Thanks. Okay, Q1 report. So this is covering the period October, November, December of 2025. That would be my first full quarter in this role in Gun Barrel City. Just want to quickly go through my activities. These are, the numbers I put on here are substantive interactions. They're not just, I had a lot more calls and emails than this, but a lot of those either don't get returned or they don't lead anywhere. And these are just calls that we have, or contacts that we've gotten into that are ongoing and still progressing. So had 7 developer contacts, 17 brokers that we've been talking with, 10 business owner prospect contacts, 8 local business owners that we've contacted with, and then partners. These are just people that we work in and around with to help with economic development here. Also, Dallas Real Estate Ministries, networking luncheons, EDC board, strategic workshops, council strategic workshops, one that we went through in the last quarter, one in this quarter. Had our Texas Economic Development Council annual conference, sales tax training that I'm required to do every 2 years, chamber luncheons, chamber breakfasts. So getting to know, in the beginning of my tenure here, getting to know the people, getting to know the systems, getting to know just how things work here. So we're getting more comfortable and we're moving these conversations along. Okay, I don't know how this works. Is this for me? You'll do it. Okay, great. Next, just wanted to hit some numbers. Economic development sales tax revenue performance. So if you look at those same 3 months, in the fiscal year 24-25 versus 25-26, we were up 8.6% in the revenue collections there. And then I also like to look at a rolling 12-month average. So the 12 months that ended December 2025 versus the 12 months that ended December 2024, we were up 2% in those revenue collections. Get into some specific projects. Pier 334, I'm still getting to know about this project and where we're going and where we're at. But if you go down there, you will see some progress is picking up. The forms are being, for the foundation, are being laid and poured. If they're not poured now, they will be soon. Soulmans is the next picture below. You don't see any progress there, but I want to reassure everybody. I got a call from my board president saying there's a new sign up there for sale. That's actually the same broker that had it up before and just hasn't taken it down yet. I'm in regular contact with Soulmans. Their architectural plans are being finalized. They still plan on opening in July of this year. So that project is progressing, and we're in regular contact with that business. The next one, Mosier's Contracting. I don't know if you've driven by that building, but there is a lot of work going on for a full renovation of the inside and outside of the building and property. It's going well. I don't have the projected opening date right now, but they're going as fast as possible. Again, it is almost a full rehab of the interior of that building, as you can see in the top left picture. A lot of work to do there. LPLC Holdings down on 410 Gun Barrel Lane, that parking project has started. You'll look out there and see the Bobcat scraping the ground for a brand-new asphalt parking lot that we are participating in with you all, with the council's approval. Then I just wanted to take just a second and talk about the demographic picture. This is a graphic that's put together by Retail Coach and has been in their tenure of working with Gun Barrel City. I've worked with them to tweak our demographics a little bit so that we're telling the story that we want to tell out to the marketplace to prospective users. If you look at the graphic on the left, this is small and I don't want to get into it, but I just want you to look at the big picture. This is what we presented in September when I first got here. I had a conference last week where we took a bunch of meetings and we're presenting the one on the right. And so if you go to the next slide, I broke down these numbers where if you look, compared to what we were talking about, you see 52 more thousand people. So we're talking about a trade area of 114,000 people are potential shoppers in Gun Barrel City. The median age is dropping, if you can tell, 43 to 40 years old. The affluence of our target customer or our prospect shoppers is higher. We're talking about $7,000 more in annual income, that they're more educated and they're more diverse, which looks good to, especially the national brands that are looking to come into Gun Barrel. They've never stepped foot here and they're looking at us with on a snapshot flyer that we're handing them. We want to give them the best picture that we can give them and the most accurate picture. These numbers are real, they're defensible. I think some of Chief's technology that he was talking about at the end of his presentation would back these numbers up along with the cell phone data and who is actually shopping in Gun Barrel City. So hopefully all these contacts will lead to more substantive, am I saying it right? More progressed conversations the next time I stand up here in 3 months. So, and I'm here for any questions.
Great job, Charles. Questions?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, bud. 7B, receive an update from the Parks Board on the installation of peace poles from the Rotary Club of Cedar Creek Lake. Our sponsor on this item will be our city manager, Dr. Smith.
Mayor, Council, I'm going to invite Laura Young, who is our Parks Board President, and Skip from Rotary up to the podium to talk a little bit about this. Jane, if you'll go one slide up, I did just put some talking points, Laura, if that helps at all.
All right, great. Well, good evening, Mayor and Council and City Manager. I'm happy to be here. I am a Rotarian, but I'm also sit on the Parks Board, so I have a kind of good partnership here with Skip. A few months ago, we attended a workshop where we heard about Peace Pole and the project. And so brought it back to the club, and then all of a sudden, Skips comes and he says, we're ready to present. So we'd love to install, I guess is the correct term, Peace Pole in the municipal park. And the idea is it's a worldwide program, and so it's to promote peace and goodwill. And so Skip knows so much more about it. He is the chair of the program, and he's going to talk to us briefly about what we're doing. I guess those were the two locations that we had kind of discussed. We only have one pole, though. Yes. Correct? Yes. Okay, so this is Skip Fritz, and welcome.
Mayor Crewell and members of the Gun Barrel City Council, thank you for inviting us to come and present our latest community project, which is the Peace Pole. Just to kind of give you a background, the Peace Pole, people ask me all the time, what exactly is a Peace Pole? It's actually a monument which is determined to build peace in communities. And currently, if you can wrap your arms around this, there are currently 200,000 peace poles that have been erected all around the world. And we're, as a Rotary Club, we are going to be installing peace poles all around the lake. Gun Barrel City, Maybank, Kemp, and Toole. And so we thank you for your consideration for this. We feel like it is a worthwhile project, and what we're also asking is that we will install it ahead of time, but then on a certain date, we will do like a community gathering in which we will unveil the peace pole, but no one will see it until that time. One other thing that I wanted to say on the peace pole, and I think you have pictures of it, there's one side that says, let peace prevail on earth. So what we're wanting is put that on one side. It's a four-sided pole, and on that would be, may peace prevail on earth. On the opposite side, it would be the same saying, but in Spanish. And then there's another one that says, I think, may peace prevail on earth and let it begin with me. That would be English. Opposite of that would be also in Spanish. But the wording is entirely left up to y'all if that, meets your demands. If that's what you want, that's fine. But we can put any kind of saying that you want on it.
I love it. It's again, shows great leadership by the Rotary and our Parks Board. I know Ms. Damiano was on there before. Now Laura's taken over the torch. There's just been so many great things done down at the park, and this is just another one of them that makes it a focal point, as it should be. It is. I know we're the hub of the Lakeplex, but that's kind of the hub of Gun Barrel, and I can't thank you enough. I think this is just a really, really cool deal.
It's a great sentiment to have at our park.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Questions? Thank you, Skip. I appreciate you very much.
Thank y'all.
Seven C, consider and take action to receive an annual report as required by Senate Bill 1074 in regard to racial profiling. Our sponsor on this will be our Police Chief, Keith Stevens.
I'm going to touch on a few of these numbers. I'm not going to go over all of them. I feel like I got some cedar trees that have taken root in my eyes, and they're not working quite like they should. I noticed I missed a few lines on that other presentation. But our report was filed on January 22 of 2026. We did a full report. Gun Barrel City Police Department has adopted a detailed written policy on racial profiling. Clearly defines acts constituting racial profiling. We strictly prohibit the engaging in racial profiling. We've got a complaint process that if somebody feels like they have been racially profiled or something, that they can come and file a complaint with us and be a full investigation on it. The racial profiling has to do with traffic stops, whether it's any traffic stop, whether it's a warning or a citation. All traffic stops in our city are required to have a written either warning or citation for documentation for the racial profiling side of it. Out of those stops, 570 of them were on city streets, 114 was on US Highway, and 2,356 were on State Highway. So was race and ethnicity known prior to the stop? Says yes on one. All of this information comes from what the officers actually enter into the ticket riders. So that all of that information is transferred over into this report. We will be discussing with them. I believe there was more than one stop that was done that somebody actually knew who was driving the car before they stopped it. So we'll be doing some more training related to that to get all of that a little more in line with where it should be. As far as the race and ethnicity on these stops, Alaskan Native and American Indian, 10, Asian Pacific Islander, 27, Black, 145, White, 2,486, Hispanic and Latino, 376. Out of those, 1,055 were female, 1,889 were male. And y'all got the rest of the numbers on that if you got any questions on any of them, but it gets pretty detailed into just about every aspect of it. It's like 10, 12 pages long, full of numbers.
Yeah. Any questions for Chief? Thank you, Bud.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I move that we receive the annual report as required by Senate Bill 1074 in regard to racial profiling.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Burns, second.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Vote from my left, please.
Burns, yes. Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Motion passes. Item 7D, consider and take action to adopt ordinance number O-2026-005, adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances for the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas. Before our sponsor on this, Dr. Smith, our city manager, talks on this, I will read into the record the ordinance. Ordinance number 0-2026-005, an ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances for the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas. Dr. Smith?
Mayor and council, I'm going to let our city secretary discuss this. I will get you more confused than we should be.
So this is our biannual supplement to our Code of Ordinances. A whopping 2 ordinances were adopted in this supplement, a total of 9 in supplement number 2. And the content is updated online as of January. And this is all the ones from supplement 2 listed here.
So council, you remember we do this twice a year. So any ordinances that are approved from point A to point B get updated in Muni Code 2 times a year. So they don't necessarily update it every time you all approve an ordinance. As we start, there was only 2 in this last period, but as we start reviewing and changing those ordinances, you're going to see more and more. And as they get uploaded, Janet works directly with Muni Code to ensure that what gets uploaded also matches the ordinance exactly.
Thank you, Janet. Questions? Motion?
I move that we adopt ordinance number O-2026-005, adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinance for the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Evans, second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, vote from my right, please.
Jacobs, yes.
Evans, yes. Burns, yes.
Motion passes. Item 7E, consider and take action to adopt resolution number R-2026-005, authorizing the closure of a certificate of deposit account number ending in 1092 at Prosperity Bank and transferring the proceeds to the city's general fund account. Our sponsor on this will be our city manager, Dr. Smith. I'll first read into the record the resolution. Resolution number 2026-005, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, authorizing the closure of certificate of deposit account number ending 1092 at Prosperity Bank and the transferring of the proceeds to the city's general fund account. Dr. Smith.
Janet, can you move to the next slide, please? So certificate of deposit account number 1092 at Prosperity Bank is expiring on March the 17th, 2026. As discussed at our special meeting on February 9th, the city is working with Hilltop Securities to better invest those city funds. This one happens to be expiring just as we are beginning those conversations. It will expire on March 17th. Those funds will then be transferred into basically our general fund checking account. Our financials will show that money going in. And then we will, at the March council meeting, adopt a resolution outlining our partnership with Hilltop along with where those funds are going to be invested. But since this one expires now, we need to do something with that instead of roll it over for another 4 to 6 months when we can get a higher interest rate on a Techstar TextPool Logic account. So that's what we're asking for. Typically, we would ask you to give me permission to renew it. In this case, we're asking on March 17th for you to give me permission to actually close this CD, hold on to that money until the end of the month when we come back to you with a new investment plan.
So will this amount go into this Hilltop Securities?
When the CD is closed, it will go into our general fund account. Then we will reinvest. So that's what we are putting together now is how will staff recommend investing that to city council, whether it's a TextPool, Techstar, Logic account, and how do we better. So one of the things you guys have gotten in recent days is a list of all the interest rates. And you can see in some cases we're getting 0.5% and we're going to be able to reinvest that money at a return of 3.6, maybe 3.5, something like that, I think is what it was. I haven't looked today. I typically get emails every day. But we'll be able to reinvest that. So it will show in as revenue. It will show in on our financials. No, Mickey, come to the mic and explain so I don't mess this up. She explained it to me today and I messed it up. I'll mess it up, so.
This money is not going to show as revenue or expense. It's going into a other current asset account. So the money originated in the general fund when it was moved to the CD. All we're doing is moving it back to the general fund into an other asset account until we're able to have a plan to get better interest rates on it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mickey. Questions? If none, do I have a motion?
I move that we adopt resolution number R2026-005, authorizing the closure of certificate of deposit account number ending 1092 at Prosperity Bank and transferring the proceeds to the city's general fund account.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Evans, second.
A motion and a second. If no further discussion, vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Motion passes. 7F, consider and take action to adopt ordinance number O-2025-016, amending the site plan approval process to include a subdivision site plan permit and establish a fee. Our sponsor on this, again, will be our city manager, Dr. Smith. I will first read into the record ordinance number O-2025-016, an ordinance of the City Council for the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, amending the site plan approval process as codified in Chapter 156 Zoning Code, Sections 156.105 and 156.111, and Appendix 1 Fee Schedule of the Gun Barrel City Code of Ordinances, providing a severability clause, providing a repealer clause, and providing an effective date. Dr. Smith.
Mayor and council, the ordinance, the copy of the ordinance that is in your packet was the original ordinance that was presented at the December 16th meeting, city council meeting, and tabled for further discussion. Earlier this morning, I sent council that draft, the red line of the most recent one following our January 8th work session, and the final that was not redlined. You were provided that at the dais tonight. The public was also provided a copy as they walked in on the table. And so one of the things that council asked, the original ordinance, if you will remember, was a flat fee per lot. We would do those inspections. Following our workshop and talking through that, we did some more research on our end, and the ordinance that is presented requires the developer to now provide a set of as-built plans certified by a registered professional engineer before we issue building permits. So it puts the onus back onto the developer to have their engineer ensure us that, not I ensure, but ensure that that work is built to what was approved by P&Z or City Council with their plans. This practice is in line with what we already have in place for our drainage ordinance. 155.40N4 requires this for drainage. And so we are now following that as well. The ordinance also allows us to make any on-site inspections we may need to make, right? Our building official may need to go out for some reason, and this ordinance allows us to do that. And there is a flat fee for the project or for the developer of $200 instead of $100 a lot. There is not a lot if we never have to go out, but sometimes Shannon may have to go out and look at a retaining wall to make sure that retaining wall follows building code or something in line with that. So it does allow us the ability to do that as well. Council has two options because it was placed in the packet wrong. It's my responsibility. Janet sent me the packet and said, please read this. And I read the whole top. And then I probably got a phone call and I didn't finish reading it and I didn't catch it until yesterday that the ordinance in the packet, we can table this to the next meeting or council can approve it. It is in line with what we discussed at the work session. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Dr. Smith? Motion?
Well, I think I've had some conversations with people I guess because it was changed at the last minute, that they recommend that we table this.
I have a motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I think that's prudent at this time, just to make sure we have our ducks in a row. Vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Motion is tabled. 7G, discussion regarding the Gun Barrel City Community Center Policy and Procedure Manual, Section 3, as it relates to memberships for Gun Barrel City businesses, and Section 5, as it relates to gymnasium rentals. Our sponsor on this, again, will be our city manager, Dr. Smith.
So Mayor and Council, I had a couple folks ask to add this to the agenda. Attached in your packet was a full set of the policies. As we get into this conversation, this is really for you all to have some discussions. I believe it was specifically about local Gun Barrel City businesses and providing membership options for them. I can share some of my experience. As you know, I have some experience in this area. And then also as it related to gym rentals, a couple of comments before you guys kick off that conversation. Brooke, as our community engagement coordinator, will be doing a presentation to council. It isn't tonight, so I wanted you to have some of this information. In December, we sold 23 adult memberships and had 2 guests. In January, we sold 31 adult, 5 child, and we had 37 guests. And in February to date, we had 11 adults, 3 child, and 19 guests. We also had 1 rental in February. We had 1 rental back in December, and we had 1 rental in February. And then once you get a membership, there's an iPad right inside the door where you check in. And so in December, there were 6 check-ins. Now, sometimes we had some challenges early in this system. As you all know, this was kind of a trial and error. Let's get it up and see how it runs and figure out what we need to do. And so we had some challenges, but in December, we had 6 people that actually checked in. In January, we had 109 people that checked in, actually used their system. And then February, so far, we've had 77. Interesting, we've sold 58 guest passes to 28 people. So we're seeing a lot of the same traffic come over and over and over, right? Pickleball, probably the #1 use. But staying super busy. Brooke's doing a great job down there, making sure we're keeping people, and she's doing programs, and she's had some bingo folks come in. And as it relates to gym rentals, if you noticed in that initial handbook, we didn't really set a fee up for gym rentals because we really needed to get it open and see how it was gonna work. And we've learned a few things. We would have a really hard time renting the gym for a basketball tournament or for a pickleball tournament because there's nowhere for spectators to be. We've had an issue. We've had, when people show up to play pickleball, only 4 people can play. We have to figure out what to do with the rest of the people that are sitting down because they're blocking emergency exits and they don't love to use the lockers. They want to set their stuff in the hall. And so Brooke's kind of been working through that with them. So while it is in there, there are not fees associated with it because we really wanted to get open and see what was gonna work and not going to work. So it calls out, I think, 3 specific types. I don't have it right here in front of me. I have a bunch of stuff, but I don't have that. Youth league team for practice, adult league team for practice, or non-Gun Barrel City team for practice. But we didn't attach fees to that just because we weren't sure how it was all gonna play out. We wanted to test, we didn't do rentals in the gym. We just did the rooms because we really wanted to kind of get a feel for the floor. We've learned a few things about marking shoes and spills and M&Ms used for bingo. So we wanted to kind of get our bearings, and I think, we've got a little more time. We need to kind of really test that gym floor and make sure how well it's gonna hold up when we start putting tables and chairs. But I think soon we will come back to council and say, maybe May, June, and say, hey, these are some suggested rates. We've done a little bit of that with our ordinances as well. You'll see on our fee schedule, we've come up with some fees on that to start having those discussions about actually renting the gym itself. We've learned a few things, right? We've set some tables and chairs up in there, and we had an employee that wore boots to work every day, and we couldn't figure out why we had all these scuff marks. And he happened to walk across the gym one day, and I was like, boots, that's why we have scuff marks. So we found a magic eraser and we were able to, but it's just that non-marking floor and the type of floor it is. So, but that's and then I will kick it back to you all this is just a discussion, no action will be taken tonight. So we just want to make sure we had a chance to have that conversation.
Questions?
I know at one point we had talked about allowing business owners use the facility as well. And I think that we wanted to continue that conversation.
Right, I think that, didn't you say you possibly had some owners in Gun Barrel that said they wanted to?
I have been approached by not only business owners, but also people outside of Gun Barrel City that would very much like to have a yearly membership. So I don't know if at this time we just talk about the business owners and decide about citizens outside of Gun Barrel, what to do about that later.
Well, I think, of course, those are great, but they can come with a Gun Barrel citizen as a guest, you know what I'm saying? But they can't get their own membership because it is a Gun Barrel City Community Center, so it could be something we talk about maybe in the future. But I didn't know if you wanted to address because I wasn't sure how many people and the owners that had addressed you that wanted to become members.
I've heard from 3 different business owners in the community that don't live in Gun Barrel but would like to use the facility.
Are they business owners or property owners? Not that that matters, I just want to know, because there are both, and are we talking about both of them or one of them?
One in particular does own the property that the business sits on. It's actually a church. The other 2, I'm not sure. The other
But just,
two, I'm not
it doesn't matter to me, just when we make this decision or when we discuss that, right? Because some of them are businesses that actually release their spaces. Doesn't make them any less important in the city
Right.
than the person who owns the building. So I
Right.
just wasn't sure what your thoughts would be as far as the business owner.
I would be okay with allowing businesses that just lease, I mean, because they are contributing to Gun Barrel, and a lot of them spend a lot of time in their businesses. They might as well live here anyway. I mean, they spend their money here, they make decisions that affect all of Gun Barrel. So I would like to be able to offer that to businesses as well.
So has there been any questions about the $5 day pass?
There has not.
That's for guests.
That's for
Well,
guests,
No,
yeah.
I mean, it is gas, but.
That's guess, no. Well, and we've been lax with it, so if a pickleballer shows up and they have 3 guests with them, we've allowed 3 guests to come with 1 membership, just because we get our doors open. Now, we may have to pull that back in at some point, but because we were getting open and we were getting people excited, we've really not been like, I have to be with Councilwoman Burns in order to use, to be. One person can bring in several, so.
right, because if I
But
say, we don't have a
we haven't-
limit.
No, we
to
haven't
set a
had-
limit on a person
we haven't had
yet.
any, I mean, we had a guy want to rent the whole building just so he and his 3 friends could play pickleball without any interruption. So, we're still trying to kind of figure this all out. A couple of things to think about with business owners is how do we determine that? That becomes a little bit of a challenge. Is it just the owner? Is it an employee? What happens when the employee leaves? There's some things in there that we kind of need to process out. I have seen it done a couple of different ways. I have seen the business owner show ownership of the business and they were able to get a membership. That's relatively easy, right? They have some paperwork that says that. I have seen them provide a list of employees, and it's kind of the onus is on them to let us know if those folks leave and they shouldn't have a membership anymore because they're not residents, right? So, but it's all up for discussion. You tell me what works best. I've seen it done a number of ways. I have had a water park that sold a business 10 memberships, and those 10 memberships got assigned to someone, but if Councilwoman Burns left, we reassigned Councilwoman Burns' membership to another person, right? But these memberships are $10, not $144, so how do you wanna, that's the direction that staff would need.
Do you feel that the employees, or they were wanting the employees or just themselves?
I would say leave it just to the business owners or the lessees of businesses.
Yeah, and I think that should be easy to prove, either a deed or, because the CAD will show who the owner is.
Sure.
And then a business, they should have a certificate of occupancy, so
One would
that should
think,
have,
correct, yeah.
that should have those too.
Well, I will say too, just because I'm kind of in this space with our facility in Dallas, is when you do what I call business, or we call it a corporate membership, is sometimes you probably want to limit that to a number. And then a lot of times they'll want to give that to either key employees or certain individuals. But I think you want to have a number in mind because, not to make light of it, but if we gave one to Walmart, we'd be in a lot of trouble. I mean,
Right,
we'd have a whole lot of folks.
But if we're
So
talking
I
about
think we
just
have-
the owners,
yes.
I don't think, is it Sam Walton? I don't know who he owns it.
Yeah.
Come down here and go to our
Yeah.
Emerald City
And we
Community
could add,
Center, but.
we could, one thing that, Brooke may start throwing stuff at me. I think one thing we could do is add a corporate membership, and then we could kind of track how many of those we got, right?
Yep.
If they're a resident, they've probably got one, it's not a big deal. She's coming to the microphone, that means I'm in trouble. But I think probably they could, go ahead, Brooke, I'm gonna punt to you because you know rec desk better than me.
I can make a household basically, and if the owner made a household, we could put any person under that household. So if it was a business owner, we could put their employees under that household. So then their account would be associated with the primary account holder, if that makes sense.
Right, but I think at this time, we're not just talking about employees.
Yeah,
We're just looking at
yeah.
business owners, so I don't know how that goes in your system, whether it be a business or, I don't think, it's not gonna charge any different, right?
She would just set up a membership type that would be corporate, and it would be $10
Just so you would
for the
know that
corporate.
they
Yeah,
don't, you know.
yeah, that way you just can track how many, if they're a resident, they're getting a resident
Many
pass. It's a,
corporate versus how many,
and if they're a resident, they're getting a resident pass, so if it's corporate, then it's non-resident business owners in town, so.
Yeah.
And then I guess we might decide if, how many, like, what if there's more than one owner? You know what I'm saying? Are you okay with giving both? And like I said, I don't know.
That's why I think maybe if you came up with a number, because that expense is a write-off for businesses. They encourage that, and a lot of them do it with different, gyms and facilities like this. So, there'll be more interest than I think you think, but you may want to have a number in mind.
Any idea of what you think? Because again, we're just talking about owners. Any idea of a number of owners per?
I've seen it anywhere from 5 to 10. And I think a lot of that depends on the size of the business, too.
Yeah. A lot of our businesses, Shannon left, but I would argue probably a lot of our businesses have one or two owners. They're going to be very limited into the specific ownership. So, we could kind of take it on a case-by-case basis. Brooke may know the answer to this, or Janet. I believe that certificate of occupancy is in one person's name. Yes?
Well,
Yes.
right, but if it's an
So,
LLC.
yeah,
And there's,
100%,
3
yeah.
people that own that LLC
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
partners
Yeah.
in that. That's what
So-
I was thinking that. And they just need to prove
And do you want
that, too.
the families of the business owner or just business owner? That's something else we have to kind of kick around.
Well, maybe this should be, not to say that we should have another specific workshop just for this, but maybe one of the next workshops we put this on to maybe just
Absolutely.
decide a few more
I just wanted us to
details.
I didn't want to table it and
Nope.
try to wait till we found another one. I just wanted us to start that conversation. It helps Brooke and I know what to go look at. So we can bring you back really good information.
And I hope, too, that we come up with some type of a framework, but at the same time, I don't want to put ourselves in a box, so we have some freedom to make some changes as things evolve and as the community center evolves, so we have some freedom to accommodate those
absolutely, Mayor.
individuals and those businesses also.
And it's one of the reasons we approved the policies like we did, because it's very fluid. So as we learn things, right, I think Brooke and I probably would have tried to host a basketball tournament on day one, and we've learned that that's probably not going to work because of the 100 reasons that the gym is like this. So, there's the way we approve the policies, we definitely have some room in there to always bring them back and have a discussion and find a way to best serve our community. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for, so.
Absolutely.
And then the other one was the gymnasium rental, which I was listening, of course, what you had to say earlier. Now, I'm not wanting to currently rent it to bring tables and chairs onto the court. But, like I said, if we did have a local church or Gumboro business that had what it would be used for, like a basketball tournament, then I don't know why we couldn't try to facilitate that. I don't know. You have to tell me the challenges with that.
I understand, there's not enough space for spectators, and I get the challenge of having all of the pickleball players stand around and wait, and I totally understand that. But, if a business or a church or, they just want to come in and rent it to have a basketball game, I guess that's the kind of thing that we can discuss.
Yeah, our biggest concern is space.
Sure.
Right? There's no spectator area at all. And that, we've learned that just through pickleball, because we constantly have to move people out of the hallway. Because the only place to sit is really in that hallway between the kitchen, otherwise the ball's hitting you.
I wish there was a garage door or something between the meeting rooms, so that they could hang out right there and still see what's going on in the gym, but none of us have ever designed a community center before, so
And our court isn't full size either. That's one of the other challenges, is our court isn't full size. It's a
Kind of half court.
huh?
Half
A
court.
hybrid is the word I was looking for. That's what I was fishing for in my brain, a hybrid of that. So, but we can definitely have that conversation. We can look at that. But that is one of our challenges about having any kind of, unless it is just a friendly game with no spectators.
Right.
That is one of our challenges.
Beautiful girl.
Questions? Any further discussion? That was good. I want to thank everyone for being here and your attention and all our distinguished guests. And with that, we are adjourned.